Guys, we have a breaking news coming out when it comes to nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom. Venezuelan troops to give weapons training in poor neighborhoods. This is coming out from the president of Venezuela. He's putting out this message. We have more information coming out. The Red Dragon, China. The Red Dragon backs Venezuela, warns US against bullying after second deadly sea strike. All right, so we're gonna see what's going on here. The Red Dragon is backing Venezuela on this one here, and at the same time, seems like the poor neighborhood is gonna have to put on the camouflage. Alright guys, before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters, a prayer request, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife Jessica Santiago at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida 34691. And for those of you that want to contribute to the channel, we do have the Cash App link and the PayPal link in the comments box and also the description box. Another way to support the channel is by giving a thumbs up. Thank you. I really appreciate that, guys. Make sure you check out the Patreon link. All the information will be in the description box. Caracas, that's the capital of Venezuela. Venezuelan troops will give weapons training to residents of low-income neighborhoods this weekend as part of Nicholas' response to a U.S. military buildup in the Caribbean near his country. Man, this weekend. They're gonna start training the poor neighborhoods. You know, those that again barely even have anything to. Again, they're facing also some. I wouldn't say crazy famines, but again they need help out there. Nicholas, who accuses Washington of planning to invade, said late Thursday, that troops will go into communities to teach all those men and women who enlisted in a civilian militia how to handle these equipments. Speaking on state television, once again, Nicholas, whom the U.S. accuses of heading a gang operation, said it will be the first time soldiers would take their equipment out of the barracks into community for training purposes. The biggest U.S. naval deployment in the Caribbean in decades, and the U.S. strikes on at least 2 Venezuelan boats allegedly transporting product across the Caribbean have stoked fears that the U.S. is planning strike on Venezuelan territory. It's just a matter of time when things start hitting the fan, and I do believe it's going to hit the fan. The Red Dragons getting involved now. On Wednesday, Venezuela launched a 3 days of military exercises on its Caribbean island of La Ochila in response to the perceived threat. Now, La Ochila is close to the area where the U.S. intercepted and held a vessel for 8 hours over the weekend. U.S. forces have also targeted suspected boats. U.S. commander says U.S. forces have knocked off 3 boats in total, but has only given detail and video footage of the two of the strikes, which left 14 gone. Now, Washington says its operation are part of its war on the gang operation, and dismisses question over the legality of the strike in international water. Guys, I want to ask you a question. Right? A lot of people are saying that it's wrong for Donald to do that in international water. What should we do? Should we let the boats just continue going and then stopping in the state of Florida and unloading those product and then put them in the street and have thousands of innocent taken out? Should we just continue doing that? What should we do? I mean, what should Commander do? Should should he continue hitting the boats? Again, a lot of people saying that it's wrong for Donald to do that. Here's the thing. You know what's wrong? You know what's really sad? It's seeing the parents in tears that the young ones are out or sleeping in the cemetery right now because of these products coming into the sleeping giant. Tell that to the people that lost their loved ones. Everybody's worried about the boats. Oh, it's wrong. Well, go to the cemetery and send your prayers to all of those that were taken out by these products. The people that truly need help when it comes to addiction. It says here, we're going to go with the next news. The Red Dragon backs Venezuela. Warns sleeping giant against bullying after second sea raid. Now, once again, the Venezuelan leader accuses the sleeping giant of using military power for purposes. All right, let's see what's going on here. Excuse me, guys. Wrong window. There we go. Venezuela foreign minister said Wednesday that the Red Dragon pledged support for Caracas. All right, so the Red Dragon's backing Venezuela efforts to preserve peace in the Caribbean, quoting Ambassador Land as saying Beijing stood in solidarity as Washington pressed ahead with military strike on boats it claimed were carrying some product. Foreign Minister met with Land in Caracas and described the message from the Red Dragon capital as a significant gesture at a time when the sleeping giant had deployed warship and launched 2 deadly operations in less than a month. Jill stressed that the leader of Venezuela was committed to regional unity and to what he called an authentic battle against the gang's operation, but accused Washington of using military power for political ends. It says here, the Red Dragon country pledge came as Washington carried out a second strike near the Venezuelan coast, announced on Monday by a U.S. commander. He stated that the U.S. forces had targeted a vessel in international waters carrying some product bound for the U.S. And these products, look it up yourself. How many sleeping giant citizens passes away from these products a year? Look it up yourself. You're going to be in shock. You can actually find videos on this platform, on TikTok or X. You can find videos of people using these products and they look like zombies. 3 on board were out, and video footage, according to the U.S. commander, showed big bags of product floating in the sea. That strike followed an operation earlier this month that has taken 11 on a speedboat. Once again, the U.S. linked to the Venezuelan gangs. Defense Secretary Pete vowed the sleeping giant would track them and take them and dismantle their networks throughout our hemisphere, adding that he did not rule out extending operation to land. The administration argued the strikes were necessary to defend U.S. security, pointing to the gangs such as, again, these are the gangs. You guys know what happened in Colorado. You guys know what happened in Colorado, right? Last year, I believe it was last year, that those gangs in Colorado, they took over a complex, and there was videos of these individuals with GUN. Well, those are the same gangs, which has designated a T organization. The U.S. commander noted that fewer boats have been spotted since the first strike, but warned that the gangs continue to smuggle these products by land. We're telling the gangs right now we're going to be stopping them too, he declared. The operation quickly attracted criticism in Washington, where some lawmakers and rights advocates questioned their legality. Once again, you have the left Senator Adam. Haven't heard Adam in a while. announced that he was drafting a war powers resolution to block further military action without congressional approval, calling the strike lawless takeout that risk entangling the U.S. in conflict with Venezuela. Adam, I guess you should, again, that's basically a slap to the face to the loved ones that lost their loved ones using those products. It seems like in these last days, people will defend lawlessness. That's what it looks like. People defend lawlessness. People love lawlessness. People just enjoy lawlessness. People love dancing with sin. It says here, look, the Bible says that you must punish the wicked and reward the righteous. But for some reason, in these last days, people rather reward the wicked and punish the righteous. It says here, amnesty. Remember, the Bible said that everything's going to be like perilous time, perilous man, was bad as good as bad. It says here, Amnesty International warned that the strike might amount to extrajudicial executions, while other rights groups faulted the administration for providing scant information about the legal grounds for the operation. Nicholas, for his part, accused Washington of deliberately seeking a military clash as a pretext for regime change. Earlier this week, he denounced what he called a U.S. raid on a Venezuelan fishing vessel and suggested it was designed to spark confrontation. They were looking for a military incident that I'm going to skip that name, who want a war in the Caribbean are seeking, he alleged. The Red Dragon had become increasingly outspoken in its defense of Caracas, that's the capital of Venezuela. Foreign Ministry spokesman Lin argued Thursday that coercion and bullying only serve to push countries away and will increasingly not work, adding that Latin America is no one's backyard and has the right to choose its partners independently. It says here, the remarks echoed other recent condemnations from the Red Dragon, which has accused Washington of adopting an aggressive posture in Latin America and of pushing countries in the region into confrontation with the Red Dragon. Now commenting on warnings from Washington against Venezuela, you have a Foreign Ministry spokeswoman, Mao, condemned in August the buildup and stressed that the Red Dragon opposed any move that violates the purposes and principles of the UN Charter and the country's sovereignty and security. Now, she also urged the U.S. to do more things conducive to peace and security in Latin America and the Caribbean. The alignment reflected years of steadily closer ties between the two govs. In May, Jill, the Venezuelan foreign minister, met in the Red Dragon with his Red Dragon counterpart, Yang, who praised Venezuela's resilience in the face of sanctions and promised deeper cooperation in agricultural, energy, trade, and infrastructure. Wang argued that both countries, as part of the Global South, should work together to oppose hegemonic and bullying practices and safeguard the interests of developing nations. For Nicholas, the Red Dragon had become an indispensable partner to weather sanctions and counter Washington's growing military pressure. At Wednesday meeting, Jill reiterated Caracas' call for cooperation with the Red Dragon and other nations in the Global South to tackle the gangs and external threats. And that's where we are right now. So the Red Dragon backs Venezuela. At the same time, this coming weekend, starting tomorrow, Venezuelan troops to give equipment training in poor neighborhoods. Those poor people, man. And again, this is where we at right now. This is where we at. And it just keep getting worse by the hour. We are definitely seeing nation against nation building up in these end times. Give me a second here. I'm looking for some more information. But it seems like, yeah, it seems like this is all of it here, guys. It seems like this is all of it. But again, this is where we at right now. So I would keep you updated when it comes to nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom. Pray for the poor. The poor gets poorer. And it seems like they'll be the first one thrown in that front line. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Till next time later. Peace.